Chestnut Street in Philadelphia. Right across from us is Independence Hall, where they sign the Constitution. Second Bank of the United States here on Independence Street, right out there. Here at Princeton University. Kind of weird, it's got like a foggy, scary theme to it. Quick panorama of the graduate dorms at Princeton University. Recession's still going on, got some creepy breathing. So looking at the time, it is 7:06. Hopefully this doesn't occur at the top of every hour. If it does, I'm glad I didn't go here. Here at Princeton Stadium. Looks like they're out practicing. It's like the Princeton football practice field. Like two separate football fields. Like the Princeton Sports Complex. There's an indoor track over here. And up here we have all of their banners from men's basketball. Here at the Ivy Inn in Princeton on Nassau Street. They've got a lot of restaurants up and down. I'm gonna go in and check out the Ivy Inn. Here in downtown Philly, we're gonna go try the Philly cheesesteak King House, and it's another one right across the street that's a local rivalry. Just wanted to point out how congested these streets are. They're one way, they got cars on either side, bumper to bumper. Look at these houses. I can't imagine there's absolutely no width to any of the rooms. First stop here at Pat's King of Steaks. There is a rather long line back here waiting to get up front to order, so they must be good. Right across the street we have Gino's Steakhouse. This is the big rivalry. Doesn't look to be as long a line there, so I think we're going to start out across the street. Here we are, Gino's Steak. We are going to get in line and check it out. Right down from Gino's, just looking down the block, headed east, I think. There's a lot of cool restaurants, so if you come down here for a cheesesteak, you've got a chance for some fresh cannolis, some gelatos, espressos, chocolate bars. Right down here we've got an Italian place, JJ's. Not sure, but if you're not in the mood for cheesesteak, but your partner is, maybe you can find something else to eat down here. Pat King of Steaks cheesesteak place, been around since 1930. It's got some directions here on how to order. We came in here to South Philly Bar and Grill, and they're gonna let us eat our sandwiches in here as long as we order a beer. It is kind of a cute little bar area with brick walls on either side. They do serve food in here as well. Bartenders and everybody in here is really nice, really cool game. Seems like a really cool place to watch a game. This is the Geno's. And I don't know, rip it in half with your fingers. I'm cool with that. To be honest, your fingers are the least of my problems. You see the grease that fell out of that?
You see me looking away? I'm gonna do this, aren't I? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Geno's. Very good. They certainly have set the bar. We got the Cheese Whiz cheesesteak with onions, both at King's and Geno's. It's got a lot of meat. It's really greasy and really good. This is a Geno's. So I decided this is about an 8.8. My partner in crime said he thought it was more like a 7. So immediately, never having lived in Philly, and neither has my buddy here, we're already seeing division and dissension in the ranks. These sandwiches. Moving on to the next one. This is Pat's King of Steaks. This is the less decorated of the steakhouses. It was also more expensive. This one was $1 more. So we're going to give this one a try. Looks the same. So with this one, the cheese is a little bit more richer. It's got more flavor. The onions are smaller. The beef is a lot less greasy. I think I like Geno's better. Geno's versus Pat's. Gotta say, I, by a very slim margin, prefer Geno's over Pat's. Pat's cheese had a lot more flavor. The only reason I think I like Geno's is it was a lot greasier and it had a lot more flavor. Got a local park here right across from the cheesesteak place where we've got some dancing and the kids are still out playing in the park. A cool little rec area right here across from the cheesesteak. Interesting basketball court in here. But it's just a little community sports center. It's all free and people are coming and going. Buildings down here have a lot of art on the side of them. It's pretty cool. Looks like Pat's is gonna try to open up in Atlantic City. Maybe they have already, I don't know. We're headed back to the car. Gonna do an escape room, Liberty Escapes. The Revolutions. Downtown Philadelphia, we are gonna check out Washington Square. It's not nearly as big as the one in New York City, but very nice. Squirrels out looking for breakfast, and looks like we've got a fountain in the middle. They allow dogs. Here we've got a memorial to all the soldiers that died in Washington's army. There's a grave down there of one of those soldiers, but their remains are scattered throughout the park. Got a bunch of flags from that era. Trees here are really tall, really pretty. Here in the historic district of Philly, we are standing right in front of Independence Hall. Looks like they've already got a line out there to get in and tour the hall. Down here around Independence Hall, there's a lot of cobblestones that make up the streets that really add to the history of this area. Here we've got the Thomas Jefferson Garden. Looks really nice, well kept. A lot of plaques in there. Looks like this might be closed for right now. Giant mastodon. This is kind of cool. This building here is where a Jewish congregation meets, and they have been since 1740. It's crazy. Longest living church. We have a statue of Commodore Uriah Phillips Levy, an American, a sailor, and a Jew. Fifth generation American. Got a guided tour, $3 for adults, $1 for kids. Or if you want for the general admission rather, if you want the guided tour, it's $8 and $3. Chair with the names of all the people buried here that signed the Declaration of Independence, from Robert Morris, Joseph Hughes, Benjamin Russ, James Wilson, Benjamin Franklin, Francis Hopkins, and George Ross. We've got Thomas W. Francis's grave marker. Just some really old graves here. You can't even make out who's buried there. There's just the marker that somebody's buried there. These trails that they've set up to be able to walk around the graves are convenient. Let you know where you can and can't step. Some of these graves back here you could just barely make out portions of the name. This is one very old cemetery. So I got a cool little path here with markers on either side of the path. It's kind of pretty. It's surrounded by trees. And takes you all the way to the gate. Another shot of the grave from this angle. It's kind of surreal. It's a really calm day. It doesn't have a whole lot of wind. The way the light is shining against all these stones that have been here for a couple hundred years. It's a neat place. If you're here in Philly, I encourage you to come and check it out. Another really neat building here that's part of the Independence National Historical Park, the Free Quaker House. These shutters are kind of interesting to me. And the brick, just how old it is. We've got the Independence Hall Visitor Center. We're gonna go inside and check that guy out. Looks like they've got a little cafe over here for the parking lot. There might be a subway or a train stop down there. But we're gonna go to the visitor center. We see a sign right over there that says open, so go inside and check it out. You can see Independence Hall down there at the end. Here inside the Independence Hall Historical Park. Got a section in here that talks about all of the different sites right around here that you definitely want to go check out. So it seems to be a really cool starting point for your tour around here, because it shows you everything. There's a colonial uniform. Here at Christ Church, one of the historical places you want to make sure you visit down here in Philadelphia. This is the oldest Episcopal church in the United States and actually started the movement. So we're going to go in and check it out. Just a second. So we've got some cobble streets here. Looks like still made with some of that same brick. And here we are at Christ Church. Really impressive. It's got a tall tower. It seems to be kept up pretty good. Needs to be painted up there. But we're going to go inside and take a tour of it real quick. 273 years that chandelier's been here. Christ Church has got their own little burial grounds right behind the church, and it's got some pretty prominent figures. Robert Morris here signed the Constitution, and really well maintained, lots of flowers and benches. The church is currently going to go in construction, but we were told that it is an active church. They're having a wedding here tomorrow, and that every single one of the founding fathers went to church here at one point in their lives or another. So we're going to go inside and see if we can find some of the pews that they sat in. What looks like maybe the original door, or a very old door that's been kept, and then a plexiglass door has been added just behind it. Betsy Ross's pew. That's pretty cool. Wonder if she put her purse back there in that nook. Got the Morris pews. This one looks important.
It's the Washington pew? This is where George Washington would have sat?
George Washington sat there. That's what it looked like from his pew as he sat here and worshipped on Sunday mornings. Here in the center aisle of the church, they were pointing out a bunch of graves where people, important members of the church, were placed. Kind of neat. William White, first bishop of the Episcopal Church, buried right here under where they give the sermon every Sunday. Well, Benjamin Franklin bought that chandelier for his daughter's wedding, gave it to the church, and right here is his pew that he rented. The church has been around since 1695, and we're just talking to the tour guide, and they said that you actually had to rent out each of these pews instead of an offering plate going around giving 10% of the church. You had to actually rent these pews. Headed down to the Franklin Court next. Hopefully the battery of my camera will hold out. I'm in Franklin's first post office right here. He went to and from his house through this original passage. Just walking down the original passage that he walked to and from his house on. They've left all of the cobble rock. Yep. Backside of the post office and the court. Here inside the original post office. Encourage you to go take a look. They've got some models of all the different uniforms that the postal workers wore over time. Here we've got a representation of what Benjamin Franklin's house looked like. You've got these white marble tiles separating the exterior of the house and the interior walls, closets, that kind of thing. All paid for with donations by local people. They've got some of their names on some of these plaques down here, all with quotes and sayings from Benjamin Franklin. And then you can approach these windows and look down in and see what the foundation of the house looked like. It was torn down in 1812 because his grandchildren no longer wished to maintain the house, which is a shame. And then apartment buildings, low-rent apartment buildings were built all around it. They've since been torn down, and thankfully for everybody, this site has been preserved to one of the greatest. This is actually maintained by the Park Service. This is a national park. We're going to go into the printing office real quick and see what it was like to print. Benjamin Franklin, of course, printed the first newspaper. And we're going to look and see. Good. We've got like seconds. We just had to come in and take a look.
We'll do a seconds demonstration for you.
There it is, the Pennsylvania Gazette. Oh, you're actually going to show us.
The paper we print on is rag paper.
Oh, okay.
Old clothes. Recycling, reusing, nothing new.
Okay.
All right? It's dampened with water. That makes it more absorbent, like a sponge.
Okay.
The ink, let me get some more. The ink was a mixture of tree sap, which you can hear, soot, gives it color, and the third ingredient is linseed oil. I am inking the form, and when people hear the word form, they often think of this as a plate. But in fact, these are individual letters.
Individual
Okay.
letters that you align in there.
And that is, they are put together to form words and sentences.
Uh-huh.
And now it gets put together by being pressed together. Not exactly high-tech to us, but if you put yourself in their shoes, this was state-of-the-art machinery.
Oh, here looking at the first bank of the United States. Here in the old historic City Hall of Philadelphia, right next door to Independence Hall. There goes the bell of Independence Hall. See some people in line over there standing waiting for the tour. We're not going to get a chance to do the tour this trip